We are the Serranos. This is the Serrano Show. We're marriage CEOs and your relationship experts. My husband and I have helped thousands of couples on their journey to forever. We are on a mission to helping 1 million couples and families in crisis rise up and move forward. Rise up from divorce being your only way out. Rise up from the devastation of betrayal and infidelity being the death of your marriage. And rise up from the ashes of whatever has you stuck and bound. It's time to move forward to healing and restoration, to success in your marriage and in your relationship and in your life. Welcome. This is the Serrano Show. I am your co-host, Dr. Nefertina Serrano, and my husband here with me, Dr. Richard Serrano. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everybody.
We are here. We are here. Yes, yes. And this is going to be, ladies and gentlemen, our final show for the season. Yes, yes. We are going to take a couple of weeks to just get ourselves together. But listen,
And relocate our studio.
All of that.
We're excited about that.
Super excited.
Yeah.
I'm here with my boo, the cream in my coffee, my husband, His Excellency, Ambassador Dr. Richard Serrano. If you guys don't know him, you have got to get to know him. I love working alongside him in this journey called Marriage and Covenant. Mm-hmm. I want you to know that tonight, buckle up, get ready, because we're in for a treat. Mm-hmm. We have an amazing icon in the house tonight. Yes. She is a legacy all in herself. And I am super excited to bring her forth. But before I do, I just want to breathe. You know what I tell you? Get your pens and your papers ready, because you might want to jot some things down tonight. You want to subscribe, like, and share this broadcast out tonight with your friends and family, especially, listen to me carefully, especially if you or someone you know, and we all know someone, that may be dealing with health issues. We have the health and wellness guru with us tonight, none other than Dr. Jody Bear. And let me tell you guys, she is coming strong with a new #1 bestseller book called Pedia. We're going to talk about it a little bit. But before we do that, I'm going to turn it over to my co-host, Dr. Serrano, just to say hello to you guys, because he was out of the show last week. You all know I had that amazing This Gal Talks credit. I'll meet her tankerously in the house. Yeah. And she talks about credit and all things surrounding your finances and faith, guys. If you did not see that video, you want to go back and watch it. It was really, really good. It will be beneficial for you and someone you may know. So, hey, Dr. Serrano, how are you tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm sharing and liking and sharing and liking and making sure everybody gets to see what's happening, what's going on, because we always have good information that we give out to you, the people. What you do with it is up to you. But we're not responsible after you receive it. You have to use it, right? We have to make sure that we apply the knowledge that we receive. That's how we're blessed. And applying it, other people are blessed because you're sharing the knowledge that you have been receiving. So it's a double blessing, amen?
That's right.
We want to listen. Last week was an incredible show.
It was.
You know, credit is a serious thing, and it's a process and a technique on how it's done. It's who you know and not what you know, because what you know comes after who you know.
Absolutely.
You got that? It's who you know, not what you know, but what you know does come after who you know. Because what they know is what helps you to get to where you need to go.
Yeah.
So link up with the people who are doing it, like Tankersley. She is doing a great job. This Gal Talks Credit. So we're excited to have her back in the new year coming, and the new guests that we do have lined up for the new year. So I'm excited. Don't you? She looks beautiful. Listen, my wife has been traveling. She's been doing so many things and meeting so many people. She has been a blessing to so many, as though they has been a blessing to her right back. So I'm excited to just be here with her on the show and having her work alongside of me. 34 years married. Who would have ever thought?
Come on, somebody. That deserves a hand clap right there. All in itself.
That, amen.
Yes.
All right, so let's get started.
We are going to get started. So are you ready? We took that little identification break because we want to give our audience a chance to come on in the room with us tonight. Come in, hang out with us because we're sharing wisdom, knowledge, and with that, you get an understanding. And that is what we're looking for tonight, some understanding in our health and our wellness. Understanding without health, listen, wealth means nothing. If you do not have health, what good is wealth, people? People are dying prematurely because they're not in health. We want to be in health and wellness so that we can enjoy the wealth that God has for us in this season and the next and the next. How about that? All right. So here we go. I want to talk a little bit about this amazing guest that we have coming on. It is none other than Dr. Jody Bear. Yes, Dr. Jody Bear is a highly respected holistic nutritionist and certified health coach. She brings over 42 years of experience in empowering individuals to achieve optimum health. And as a corporate health coach and consultant, she has trained over 12,000 plus government and Fortune 100 and 100 companies, along with 200 NCAA athletic institutions. But listen here. I am super excited because she is not only a guest on our show, but she is the wonderful, wonderful visionary of this new best-selling book, Pedia, 6 Pillars of Health, putting together the pieces of a foundational health. Listen, guys, we have in our midst, please be careful how you treat our people because you may be entertaining an angel unaware. We bring to you, introducing to some, presenting to others, none other than my sister and friend, Dr. Jody Bear.
Oh,
I don't have that button.
And Richard, so rare. And I am Jody Bear. I am so grateful to be there. I was saying, who's she talking about there? Who's she talking about? They always said, Dr. Nefertina and Dr. Richard, that when the Beatles landed in the United States, and Ed Sullivan said to them, how did you just become such an overnight sensation? And they said, after about 15 years of diligent, hard work, we became an international sensation. I was just a little remedial, Dr. Nefertina. It took me 43 years.
Wow. Wow.
Overnight sensation, huh?
Yeah, overnight sensation. We're going to turn that up. We're going to turn up the volume. I got it all the way up, so I'm not sure why you can't hear me, but
awesome.
I'll just build it more.
Nope, you go right ahead. We're good.
Okay, there we go. But I tell you, Dr. Nefertina, do you know the story? Richard, do you know the story of how we met?
No.
Because it's always a friend of a friend of a friend.
Right, that's right.
And what it is, and with us, it was certainly, that kind of fits. All of a sudden, my new MacBook here was playing Calvary and nothing less. Wouldn't you know? That kind of fits us too, the Covenant Calvary people. But actually, Richard, Kim Jacobs said, I think I know this lady, Dr. Nefertina. You need to call her. Well, I was getting my air conditioning fixed. Now, doesn't this just typify your wife, Richard? I'm at Pep Boys. I'm in Little Lake County, Central Florida. My air conditioning needed to be flushed. It was a big, hairy deal. I just sat down. Nefertina and I became like this. And the guys, when they checked us out after several $100s later, of course, said, well, were you talking to the same lady that whole time? I said, yes. They said, was it your sister? And I've got to say, she has become my sister from that Pep Boys moment.
Beautiful.
Yes.
That's a beautiful story.
I am so excited, and when you called me that day and said, hey, I have a project I really, really feel you would be great to be a participant in. It didn't take long. I talked to me, what I loved about what you said that day is you said, listen, pray about it. talk to your husband and get back to me. But I really feel strongly about you being a participant in this. And guess what? I prayed about it. I talked to my husband, and we both felt unanimously that this was a project we wanted to participate. Little did I know, to our listening audience, you never know what God is going to do when time and destiny meets. Miracles happen.
Absolutely.
And I tell you, having Dr. Jody Bear in my life has been a time and destiny moment. And I am forever grateful to God for choosing me to meet this amazing woman.
And you know what they say, if you spot it, you got it. So there you go, there you go, there you go. Because those time and destiny moments, because we all have life going on. We've had 2 international best-selling books. I want to just completely go fast forward to that meeting, because we signed the contract today with 3,000 bookstores across the country that will be taking Healthopedia in their bookstores in the next 120 days. And we will not only be Amazon bestseller, and you know the story, Dr. Nefertina, Richard, perhaps you know it as well. That we hit international bestseller in 13 countries. In 2 of the hardest categories, a Western medical book was called The Practitioner's Guide, had been #1 on Amazon for 15 years. Guess who is now? Time and destiny meet. It's just the way it goes, because people know, Nefertina and Richard, that the body put in any condition can and will heal itself, but it has to foundationally be there. So it wasn't just 6.5 hours. Actually, we took off of the gate so quickly. Did I say like that? Did I say like that? Amazon shut us down, Richard, because they thought we were a bot. So we really did hit 13 countries, 2 of the hardest categories: holistic health and nutrition, and the practitioner's practical guide. So that's what we wanted to be, and that's what we are with Healthopedia. Here it is.
That's amazing.
Wow. That is
incredible.
I am super elated and excited. So tonight, we wanted to, as a part of our party momentarily with the, for the season, and as we're approaching in this holiday season coming up, the season of giving thanks to our Creator for being birthed in the earth and for loving us enough. We want to, this is the gift season. What better gift to give than life? Yes. And I believe that we are doing that with this new book. I believe that the men and women that have imparted in this book is giving life and that more abundant. Because when you give health, you're given abundance. And so I am very, very excited. They say, why would you want to talk about that right now? Right now, because we should be thinking about that.
All the time.
This is the season when we're overindulging in things that we shouldn't eat, not getting enough exercise, not sleeping enough, worrying. This is a season when people are down in their spirit because of loss of loved ones, financial woes. All of those things factor into our health. Our mental status factors into your health very, very much. So I have Dr. Jody Bear here. She's going to share with you tonight, guys. Listen up and take it in. She's going to talk to you about this thing called health and wellness, what she means by holistic health, what she's offering, and then what we're doing with this book and where we're taking it, because it's going. It is just beginning. Rod is just getting started.
Rise. Who said in as we're doing, she said, this is a global movement. That's why I just wanted to actually not interrupt. It was you, Nefertina. It takes 2, because you said this is a global movement. Now we're New York Times bestseller. And because of you, because of this beautiful, that you just were such a support at home, Richard, and I was able to meet Nefertina in person. We have that iconic picture. And, the people said, well, you must really, she must really be something. You've known each other a long time. I said, long time. We hugged each other like for 5 minutes. But this is what I say. I want to give this kind of context with this because it goes in what your chapter title is. When time, you already said it, when time meets destiny, miracles can happen. Journey of the curse breaker, journey of this, because you are not your genes. I'm not talking about the jeans I've got on right now because we all look different underneath than we do on top with these live shows. But it's the idea is that you absolutely, you are not your genes. My father died at 42. My mother died of pancreatic cancer at 62. And here I am thriving and going and driving in a peaceful, calm, regenerative way, hitting 70 this year in 2 months.
Wow, amen. God bless.
You look amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, you said I looked amazing when I saw you, but this is the key, Nefertina and Richard. It's just a Nefertina, Joe D, and Richard show. We can leave the DRs because we go doctor. We know that. But the idea is this: I am holistic. What does that mean? I am not halflistic. I am holistic, going down to the foundations of health. My 30,000 clients. I'm honored to say that we've lost 1.1 million pounds of toxic fat lost because we get to
that's awesome.
Yes. And with a 5% recidivism rate during COVID, I've been honored and blessed to take 3,000 of my client patients through to reclaim, regain, and rejuvenate their health. But the most important thing, those statistics mean nothing, Richard and Nefertina. What the thing is, the next health, the next person that you want to get, it starts with your right choice, your next right choice. Am I going to get enough sleep? Am I going to meditate? I was remiss, and I'm going to put it in the chat, the private chat, that you can bring this up. I have a free ebook. I would have made tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars on this, called 10 Rituals to Rock Your Day. And when you do these 10 things, it doesn't take you any more than 45 minutes. Do you just spend 45 minutes watching social media and hitting the likes and everything? 45 minutes will give you the vital energy to create vitality, which transcends to longevity, because I'm living proof.
Wow. Wow.
Amen.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, Dr. Jody Bear, talk to us a little bit about, because I share with you my journey and the fact that I was diagnosed with diabetes in 2017. It was a horrible roller coaster ride, more like a terror train. Okay. Trying to find the right regimented medication that I could tolerate, because my body was rejecting all foreign substances, as it should. But we had to find something that would help me to begin to be on the right trajectory of where I needed to go. Now, 40 plus pounds less later, I am
and
here.
She's still curvy, but doesn't she look fine, Richard?
Yes, she does.
I am grateful to God because it is a journey. It's an everyday, intentional, living, breathing, consistent lifestyle. Yeah. Yes. And I want to give a shout out to my daughter, Brandy Elise. Woo-hoo. I want to say thank you, because Brandy is, she teaches, I was telling you, stretch yoga, stretch Pilates.
Yes.
And when I saw her, I was like, oh my goodness, amazing. She looked amazing. Skin, body. Yeah. I mean, she has that, she has that athlete body anyway, but very much so after her dad. But I just thought, wow, I can do better. And she encouraged me. And so last year, this time, I was like, no, you're going to make a change. And I decided to do that. I made up in my mind, this is what I wanted to do. Yeah. So here I am. And I am grateful for that. But tell us, how do we, what is it we should be looking to do?
Yes, because this picture is beautiful, but she's half of that woman now. Just saying.
I am.
And it's like my quote, Nefertina and Richard, Health is not something you do. Like, I've got to do health. It's what you become along life's journey. You become that. Like my husband already knows. When we go to a restaurant, I look over the whole thing, and then I put the fried over here, the this. That. Doesn't mean that you can't have a cheat day, because everybody needs this. But remember, the first piece of chocolate cake tastes the same as the 10th. But what you are very important to say, you had a diagnosis, but you weren't saddled with your diagnosis of diabetes. Because as Les Brown
right.
says, your diagnosis is not your prognosis. It is not your prognosis.
Awesome.
If you have weight loss, you are not fat. You have fat. I had a situation because the stress in my life was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 23 years ago.
Mm.
And I decreed I shall live and not die. And here I am. This is the month when I found out tomorrow is the day, December 7th. It meant nothing, because I knew, and I went foundationally, and even being a health coach, Nefertina and Serrano Show, Richard Serrano, listen to what I'm saying, because we go, but you have to recruit, because we all have a finite amount of energy. When it's gone, it's gone. If you feel tired,
It's gone.
it is that. Those are your adrenals with fatigue. How many people, especially
Yes.
in the African American community, do you know that are have renal failure? You know why? You want me to share a little? It is because of diet, but it's because they push themselves, just like when they were before the Civil War. That's all they know. And now we have this work. We must go work, and get 3 hours of sleep. But it doesn't work that way, because you will burn out. When you feel burnout, it happened 6 months ago. And I know that. Look back at pictures I had 23 years ago, Nefertina and Richard, I looked older than I do now, because it was burnout. And then it came. But the most important thing, I went back. And if you have a time that you're just feeling that low energy, go into yourself and heal, because no one knows you like you do. You are the president of You Incorporated. Go up. And I know you believe this, in your opportunity to your true north, and come in positively. The first thing that I said when my doctor said, you have stage 4 cancer, I said, I shall live and not die.
Come on.
That's right.
I said
part.
I shall live and not die. You can have your diagnosis, put it on the paper. I'm out of here. And I said, be and live the law of attraction. And then when you empower you and yourself first in this world, the world around you is empowered forever. And that's E. That means hope.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You know, I was looking at Blue Zone. It's a documentary that's on Netflix.
Yes.
And it talks about 100 living to 100 or something, but it talks about Blue Zone, and it talks about different parts of the world and how much they're living longer than us here, like in the United States.
Yes.
I mean, a 105, 110. I mean, well, 105. I think 106 was the highest, but they look like 70. They look great.
Yes.
But the key for them, I didn't see any meats. A lot of vegetables, fruit, and not only that, but when they cut the grass, they use a machete, so they're constantly moving,
active,
and getting exercise.
Yes,
right.
The body in motion stays in motion.
That's right. They have they roll the dough. We have the dough machines. Right? Everything we have is a machine for it.
Yeah.
What they do, everything they do
naturally.
is manually.
Yeah.
Naturally. They're constantly, and I don't think most of those places have even chairs. So they do a lot of squatting and lifting, which builds up their core. And everything. It's amazing how lazy, and I don't like the label lazy, but I think it's just a pattern that we developed along the way because everything is so easy.
Yeah. Well, it's easy. Can I just share a tip with that, Richard? You're speaking my language here. I can tell you that sitting is the new smoking. It used to be lung cancer. Now it's colon cancer. You know why? Because we are with this laptop lifestyle. We're sitting forever. Nefertina, when you and I were together for our lovely Saturday, you saw me get up I didn't spend the 10 minutes out there, but if I am it's sitting for more than 2 hours, it's very rare. Every 2 hours,
Yes.
I get up and I move. Then I do some phone calls. We're in home offices. This happened during COVID because we got sedentary. We got even more sedentary. Then we're sitting because your colon, your bottom chakra, if it's blocked, all your energy is blocked, even to your head. And it just your brain is not functioning well and whatever. So I'm going to give you a tip from my trainer, my teacher, my guru, Dr. Jim Marinakis, about the process. Do a walk. You're going to find out in Boca when you do walk and what you do with that walk. It is not just walking, but it's the start. And when I don't do this, I'm going to tell you, and you know this about me, Nefertina, I had done 14 marathons. I'm as a nationally ranked triathlete in the Olympic distance triathlon.
Wow.
And it was in the old
Wow.
people's division right before COVID, but there were more than in 18. Of course, my youngest son said, were there just 18 people? And I said, no, there were more than 18 people. There was giving me a hard time. You see, because that is that motion, but you don't have to do that. This walk, when I was in the height of my marathoning, I looked at Dr. Jim and he said, I just want you to walk. I said, I'm not going to run. No, that's all I did. That's what I did. And I hit a personal best in that a half marathon. Let me tell you something. I went ahead and I had a personal best, never ran once, but did this autonomic nervous system walk. And you will learn how to do this to perfection. Did Dr. Jim figure out how to do this? Because he was rehabilitating the strongest man back in the 70s, and he wanted to do the weight, putting that car around the neck kind of thing, and he wanted to do he wanted to do it one more time, and then
Wow.
he went ahead and became the Olympic team physician for the Winter Olympics in Sarajevo. And the bobsled team was messed up. They had several injuries. They couldn't even ride that bobsled. And guess what he had them do? The autonomic nervous system walk. Now that in and of itself, besides Tina and you, Richard, and myself to come down and see us in Boca, but it's that to me is a really big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I am, if you guys are just joining us, Dr. Jody Bear is just, we're conversating. That's what we do here. We talk, but we also like for you to talk back to us. So if you're out there and you're watching, listen, if you have any questions, she's right here in the studio. Come on, guys, reach out to her, reach out to us, give us some hearts, like, subscribe, and share. If you're just joining us, you're watching The Serrano Show. I'm Dr. Nefertina Serrano. This is my husband, Dr. Richard Serrano. We are, the marriage CEOs, and we have on the studio tonight, yes, Dr. Jody Bear, and she's talking about her amazing new #1 bestseller, and that is Healthopedia, 6 Pillars of Health. Come on, guys. You can get that book right now. It is available on Amazon and in all locations around the world. We are #1 bestseller in over 13 countries. Come on. You have got to invest in yourself. We are in the 4th quarter, and this is the 12th month.
Yes.
Do not go into the new year without taking heed to good news, because this is good news. Yeah. This is good news that's going to help somebody. Yeah. We are here. Yeah. We want to support our couples, our singles. Listen, whether you're single, married, separated, divorced, a widow, or widower, we are here for you. We're here to support you in this thing called life. It gets real out on these streets. So we want to make sure that you know that you are not alone. Right, Dr. Jody? They're not alone.
You're not alone. And even if you're by yourself during this season, I have a quote in the 21 Days to Your Best You that came out in May. And frankly, that was my treatise of, oh my goodness gracious, I'm thinking 42 years brought this up. And I said, you're the only person that will never leave you. Husbands and wives may, and children at some time better. True or true? Okay. And But I
Very
want to
true.
come back and regress. So, how do you stay in motion if you're on this laptop lifestyle? You want for me to share a little tip with you? I'm sitting in
Yes.
my studio,
Absolutely.
and I have not one, but I have it in my studio, in my home. I have a balance ball, and I sit on that
Wow.
balance ball, and it's working my core the entire time. So energy flows where movement goes.
There you go.
I like that.
Wow. Dr. Jody Beer, we have some amazing women of God and men that are joining us tonight. We have Dr. Kishma George, the prophetess herself, honey. This woman is a high power woman and she is amazing from Delaware. Delaware is in the house, the first state. So thank you so much, Dr. George, for joining us. We have Dr. Tania Simmons. You know, my girl, this is my sister from another mister. We share the same father, honey. And I love her so, so much. I am forever grateful to God bringing her in my life. And I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight. And we also have Diana. Thank you so much, Diana Yasin. Yes, yes, for joining us. Listen, we have women from around the world that are joining in tonight. We have our women from Africa joining us. Listen, we are so grateful for you. This is our last show for the season. But guess what? Just remember, Jesus is the reason. We are coming to give thanks for his life and that he gives us more abundant. But I want to say tonight, we have one of the angels in the house, Dr. Jody Bear. Yes, yes. She is such an amazing woman. If you don't know her, get to know this amazing woman because she is coming with good news of health and wellness. You and I can have it today.
With your
People.
first choice, with your next breath, with your next right. I'm going to just breathe in, breathe out. In the mental pillar, Jamie Kerr in our book, From Across the Pond, and he said, in this thing called life, I don't have to be responsible for the whole thing, just my part in it. We can remember that during this holiday season, just my part in it, just stop and just take this in. That's that 6 pillars, Nefertina and Richard, that I've done forever, starting with the spiritual pillar, because I'm a faith-based woman, then physical, mental, emotional, social, and financial. Obviously, being the co-brander of the Married CEOs, you were in the social pillar. But the one thing that people don't really know, there are 472 pages in our book. And of that, do you know we have famous people like Bernie Siegel, we have practitioners, and then we have some DRs in the house, Dr. Nefertina. But then there are people like you and I that they have expertise. Why? Because they had an experience they wanted to share. Share your story because the people, and I know Richard and Nefertina, you have many, many books and we're co-collaborating on that because there's room for all of us because there are 8 billion people in the world. The story that you're waiting on, somebody is reaching on to put it in their life to save their soul, save their business, or save their life. And that's just the way it is. And I can tell you, 688 years, Nefertina and Richard, of experience, expertise, of practitioner, because this book, like none other, you're not going to just read a story. Then you're going to have action tips. If you go ahead and read those action tips at the end, you can take one per week and it'll change your life. You go to our IG page, Healthopedia 365. We will feature an author every single week for 40 weeks until we get our next book out. That is The Essence of a Woman. And then, Richard, we didn't forget you. It's called Real Men Are Aware. You know, that kind of good stuff. But what it is that just, I wanted to just share, if I could, just for like 1 minute, because you never know where your music is coming from in this chapter of your life. 2020, January 2020, I sold my practice. I thought it was done. I sold my practice. I had a non-circumvent, non-compete for 50 miles. That means I went all the way to Orlando, halfway to Tampa. I had no more patients. Then COVID hit. And my husband said, "What are you doing?" He said, "There's just so much yoga you can do. You know how you men get it, Richard? You just get it. You just know." And he said, "I've read Think and Grow Rich too." And he said, "Baby love," is what he called me. He goes, "Baby love, I know after 57 alibis, there ain't no 58. The world needs you. And I said, but I don't know the internet. I've just been a practitioner. I haven't really spoken. Do I have a message? Do. And that's when he said, the world needs you and why I'm here.
Amen.
If you have that vision, whatever your next chapter of life, I have to Dr. Bill Janicek, a really good friend of mine. He said, the only thing you don't do well is retire. And I mean, but if you have that passion and vision, there will be a season. Talk about Healthopedia. 1984, I was being mentored. How did I come up with this? I needed to find something. I wanted to change that genome, Nefertina, just like you did. I'm gonna be the curse breaker. My son just he didn't have ADHD. He just had me with testosterone, Richard. He was hyper. He had a lot of energy. And I saw Dr. Hulda Clark on the Phil Donahue show. And what did she say? It was a back to school edition. She said, perhaps the children just have to grow into their brilliance. And I knew I had to find it. This was 1983. I'm driving around because when she said she lived in Atlanta, I'm living in Atlanta. No GPS, no MapQuest, no nothing, no internet, no cell phone. I just walked the streets of Alpharetta, Georgia for 2 weeks, looking at people that looked healthy and wore sensible shoes. I was going to find her. And what did I find? And my son said, Mommy, when we get there, what am I supposed to do? And I said, I'm going to pinch your shoulder because he's real cute. Aquamarine eyes. I said, when I pinch your shoulder, you just smile. Now, I'm not sure you knock on that door. Today, Dr. Clark came and I said, will you help my son? And she said, well, don't you know, I'm not seeing any patients. I'm 70 years old. I'm retired. Well, she changed the trajectory of my son's health and wellness and lit me on fire. Who in your life just lights you on fire? Nefertina, you lit me on fire at the Pep Boys, getting the air conditioning. It's a good thing we get that fire out of the air conditioning because you got me fired up. And then the rest is, I said, Dr. Clark, will you mentor me? And she said, I'm not seeking any other mentees. You see, I'm retired at 70. Well, guess what?
Wow.
I said, what if? See, ladies and gentlemen, what if you're that person to take that message, whether it's all 6 pillars, for me, it's health, getting to be your best that you can be in health and wellness with our trademark, The Process with Dr. Gemini. What if you're that person to take that to the next person? Because this book, now that I'm 70, there are millennials like Kim Jacobs' son, Ivan Jacobs, 23. The millennials in there because we're bringing them up to the next generation. And how did this happen? I wrote on a gold card tucked it away. And I'll tell you, I did not know that on that gold card, it said, I will pen the Eastern version of the PDR. Here it is. How did I find this, Dr. Tanya? How did I find it? Love y'all. You got to DM me, girl. I already love your energy. Guess what? She went ahead and I was helping another client with his son. He was off the rails because he was confined. He needed to be in motion. And that gold card, that file, and with coffee stains and everything else stains on it. And here we are, vision and mission to fruition, and we're taking it to the world, and you're helping us, Dr. Nefertina. I just wanted to tell the backstory of Healthopedia. Don't sit on your, you don't know when it's going to be there, when our creator planted that seed that will grow into an oak tree, into a forest, into an absolute beautiful on the side of the mountain, a bunch of forest trees, and it started from one seed. That is your seed.
One seed.
Amen.
One seed.
Amen.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to say, thank you for all that information because, someone now might be saying, how do I start, right?
Yeah.
Where do I start? And right now I can truly say that they can go to YouTube and type in Dr. Joe D. Bear, and they will see how to start on YouTube. They can start by getting the book. Just these little bits and pieces can kickstart you in the right direction. This is what I do believe. Relationship with money, relationship in a relationship with humans, right? Husband,
Yes.
wife, relationship in family, relationship with health.
Yeah.
It's not talked about enough. And
Mm.
when it is talked about, we really don't listen like we should.
Come on, that
Because
part.
these are things that's
Mhm.
going to take you to the next level in your life
Yeah.
to live longer and to speak life into other people.
Mm.
Because
So
you
this
can. Oh,
information is vital.
Ah, you
This
better say
information
it.
is
Yes.
vital, is needed.
Need it.
You know,
Yes.
we never know. I mean, I'm 60, right, myself,
mhm.
and I've always watched how I eat. You know, not totally, but yes, I've always been conscious, right, of how to eat, but I've always know better to exercise no matter what. Keep
Yes.
moving. And I was just telling my wife this today. You know, my family, one thing about my brothers and my sisters is that we are all active.
Yeah.
We work in the
Mhm.
home, outside the home. We have, you know, our maintenance department in the house. We have security department. We have, you know, we stock the shelves. We, you know, we fix things. But
Mhm.
all of these things is what keeps you healthy, right?
Yeah.
And then learning how and what to eat. But you have to be around people that are like-minded. Can
Mm.
I say
Yes.
that
That
again?
part.
You have to be
Like
around people that are like-minded, like you, and where
like
you want to
minded.
be.
It starts with
Because
mindset.
you might not be there now,
Yes.
but you can surely be there because you have others to help you and you're listening to them. You know, we cannot control what comes in us, but we can control what comes out of us.
Come on.
So
Amen.
Wow.
that's for
Wow.
sure. We have to speak life into our own situation.
Wow.
Life, because it
Wow.
can be simple. Nefertine and Richard. See, because our
Woo!
kidneys, you be good to your kidneys in the winter months.
There you go.
Be good to those kidneys
Yes.
and flush out. It's as simple as taking 2 tablespoons of lemon, fresh squeezed lemon, putting some coconut water in there, leaving it by your bedside. You think, how can something so acidic be alkaline? Because when you do that
Yes.
alkalinity is key. I pee on my I can't do a show without talking about pee and poop. So here we go. Okay. And it's
Come
like,
on.
okay, you've got to go
Yes.
ahead and pee on the strip so you know what it is and check yourself midday. I've done this forever. And then you're going to see the parasite cleanse. And I don't want to talk about parasites. So we renamed it and rebranded it Pristine Clean. There is a
Yeah,
process. You'll learn this
I like that.
in Boca because you've got to start foundationally. I'm going to tell you something because it happened to us. We had, and it's now given me yet another vertical to talk for people. And Diana, it
Mhm.
is so true. Hurricane Ian hit us. We didn't know we had loose tails. Yes, I mean, it's like we didn't know that we had loose tiles on this roof of ours. What happened?
Hmm.
As the water had seeped in, Florida, wet. Yes, need to get that book. Buy it from my website. I'll even personally autograph it with you, Dr. Tanya. Absolutely.
Amen.
So, but the idea was 3 months that water set in our roof. It had mold. It came through. I didn't
Wow.
know. I was not feeling well. So this is why you always have a trained professional. I went ahead
Hmm.
and I did a master cleanse. Felt worse. I mean, maybe it's my liver because if you really work and you have stress, like I know you're moving and you're doing all this, I'm going to say, as your health coach, Nefertine and Richard, make sure that
Yeah.
yin because you have all of this. Something went wrong. Please try again. Oh my goodness, something went wrong. Please try again. That's what we're going to say. Something went wrong. Seriously, try again.
Yes.
It will absolutely change the trajectory that you've got all this yang power going in. Bring some yin and rest. But when I did that liver cleanse, I felt worse. 3 days later, the water came through
Wow.
our roof. Had I
Wow.
not done preventative health in the way that I was, my husband, who is 12 years older than me, Richard, had a
Mm.
98% mold contamination in his body of 5 out of 6 deadly moles. I had 92.
Wow.
And let me tell you something. We did not know that we were living, breathing this. Had we not, I mean, the conventional doctors because we did that protocol along with what, just like you did for that stopgap measure with your diabetes medication. I went ahead and got a medication, but I told our doctor I knew what to do that pristine clean. There's no E in there, almost JO capital DEE.com. Yeah, there we go. So that's okay. No big deal. Typos are us. But the idea is this, because I had that foundation of health, it took us 9 months for my husband and I to get back. We're still not fully in our home after Hurricane Ian, but we're going to be this next 2 weeks. But what if we didn't have that foundation? It's like that parable in the Bible. It's a house built on sand. There we go. It's not a house built on rock. Make sure your foundational health is built on a solid rock with 6 pillars of health. It must be. And it begins with the absolute pristine way. You do this thing called the parasite cleanse, and you do this, and it's a circadian rhythm. Now, but let me tell you something. Bob Bear and I will have been married 15 years in January. Richard, he ate 2 things when I met him: potatoes and beef. I'm a vegetarian. I said, I don't want to change you. I don't want to change you, but we got to change this. And you know what?
That's right. That's good. That's good. We're not changing the person. We're just changing the habit, right?
Changing the habit. So I walked out this morning. He goes, this is my meatless day today. Baby, I cooked myself up some vegetables and rice. There you go. You make it happen. And Nefertiti, you met my husband. Would you have thought that he's 82 and a half?
No way. No way. He looks amazing, and he was a lot of fun. He kept us on our toes. Okay.
Yes. So age is just a number. If you take care of your health, then you can mind your wealth as you're building, as opposed to just, I'm going to work for money, and then health is over here. Reclaiming it, as 20 billionaires said, it costs you almost as much as anything else. It's called over $1 billion to reclaim it, maybe. So start now.
Wow.
Start today. Start today, because our life expectancy is not like these blue zones, Richard. Our life expectancy is actually 56. And you know who has that life expectancy of 56? Nefertiti and Richard. Okay, I'm gonna just guess. What do you think? That occupation? What profession?
Of 56.
Average age.
Police and firemen.
Medical doctors. Because of the stress.
Medical doctors.
Medical doctors.
Wow.
55 is funeral directors, because they sniff in that formaldehyde. A taxi driver is 58. They're almost as old as you, Richard, and they're sitting there eating McDonald's and whatever because it's stress. How do you say stress is up among us, but then you relax into the yin and know how to rest and do that prayer and meditation daily? You go ahead and do your lemon water. You go ahead and splash our faces, Nefertiti, so that the cold water will wake us up. You go ahead and these 10 rituals. These are simple things to do, easy to do, but easy not to do. And it's all guidelines here.
Wow.
I practice on the website. Do I love what I do? You think just a little bit?
Well, listen, that's why we have you on tonight.
I was gonna say because food is supposed to fuel us, right? It's supposed to make us feel good, not put us down and put you to sleep. And and it's so true, because even in the mornings, I love eating fruit, yogurt. Yogurt, fruit. But the main thing, really, I like eating fruit in the mornings, and maybe a protein shake and all that. That's the way I feel. Yeah, the way I feel is amazing. And then every now and again, I do eggs, bacon, or something. I'm like, it's not the same. So I already know that I will be meatless soon, because I like fish, but the chicken and beef and all that just really doesn't sit in with me well anymore. So I'm listening to my body.
Listening to your body. Yeah. And you're listening to the warning signs of your body. And go ahead and go to my blog on drjodi.com. It is free. All of my blogs are free. It's called Food Combining. Because did you know
Wow.
Food
that
combining.
potatoes, food combining, just BINING. Did you know that potatoes are not to be eaten with protein? How many that said, okay, so you're going to get this 16-inch steak. Well, what kind of potato do you have with that? See, that is a standard American diet. Do you know what that stands for, gang? SAD. SAD. Standard American diet. But combine it in a way that, like vegetables, what my husband was doing, and his rice, because he's a little drink of water. He's 6'1" and he weighs 162 pounds. He can do that. He doesn't have to stay clear of your carbs, but it will fuel you. This is why I have my recipe on there that's in the book, my green miracle drink, because it is a miracle. You will never eat 6 carrots. You will never eat a whole thing of stalks of celery, 7 bananas, or 1 banana, 7 of this apples, and this is this, and it tastes good. It tastes good, and you get all of that living food inside your body. That's what revs me up. That's what you keep going, and it's a process. You will not get there all in one day. Just what is this? Ask yourself this: what is that one thing I can do today? That 1%, that 1% for 100 days. So guess what? By spring break, you can have that 100 days. What is that one step that I will do, that one thing I will do? And then you're better today than you were yesterday. And then you were better the next day and the next day. All of a sudden, Nefertina's got 40 pounds. It was gone. And then when you put that meditation in there and prayer and resting twice a day, watch what happens to that muscle. I'm living proof.
Wow.
This is what I know. This is my gospel according to Joe. But you can go do your meat, but you just don't eat the potato with it. And then once my husband said, I like that potato afterwards because it's like head lettuce. Did you know it will putrefy in your intestine for 5 days?
Wow.
That's nasty. I just got
no.
Yeah, lettuce. And how did they create lettuce?
Wait a second. Rewind. Can you help me understand that? Say that one more time, please.
Lettuce, head lettuce putrefies in your intestine for 5 days. You see, they developed head lettuce over leaf lettuce, which was the agrarian kind of way, because when they started being an urban society, and in Europe they had bed and breakfast, and they would get botulism. So they figured out if I gave somebody head lettuce, it would take care of the botulism. It would sit in your intestine for 5 days, and then maybe you wouldn't get sick and die and sue them. That's how, it's the things that we do with these things that we do. But I want to come back to this, Richard, and say you were so right and spot on. If you had a Lamborghini, just imagine, Richard, you picked up your Lambo. It is red like your stage. It is red with black interior. And you say to Nefertina, I'm going to take you around the block, but before I got to give it the finest premium gasoline. Would you ever go ahead and put apple juice in there? It would ruin the engine. So why do we do frankenfood that ruins our engine of life and our vitality?
Right. So, I love this because, because, we are counselors. We talk to couples about making love.
Yes.
But let's talk about it, because you have to have energy.
Yes.
Good energy to make love. So if you're eating those things that make you feel like you have no energy, you don't want to do anything, guess what? You're not going to do anything.
That's right.
That's the bottom line. That's why exercise builds you up to release.
Yes. Wow.
You don't need pills to make love. You need exercise.
You need those endorphins to be out there, because a man with ED, it is undoubtedly the same clogged artery down there that's up in his heart and will soon get to his brain.
Wow.
Just saying.
Listen, guys,
this is awesome.
This is amazing. We're having conversations that matter most to you and you and you. If you are just joining us, this is Doctors Nefertina and Richard Serrano. We're the Marriage CEOs, and you're watching The Serrano Show. We are live tonight This is our final episode for the season, and we have none other than that amazing woman herself, Dr. Jody Bear. She is bringing life to you tonight. So if you're just joining us, you're going to want to do what? Go back and watch the replay, because I promise you, she is dropping health and wellness, guys. She's talking about your health and wellness and how much that matters. As she is also bringing forth her new book. Yes, I am one of the co-authors in that book, and it is none other than Pedia. We are 13 times best-selling in over 13 countries. Bestseller. Listen, that's a big, big deal. Something like that just doesn't happen by osmosis. You work for that. And we put in the work. All of the co-laborers and co-authors in this book have poured their life, their experience, their expertise into this book. It is not just your ordinary book. It is an extraordinary book. And you're going to want this in your arsenal of knowledge, because not only are we coming from a health and wellness standpoint, we're talking about 6 pillars of health. We're talking about health in every facet of your life: spiritual, physical, mental, emotional, social, and guess what? Financial. We all want a little finance.
Yes.
And romance.
That's when you're healthy enough to do it.
Listen, that whole part. Okay.
Oh, that whole part. And we
No
want to be
romance,
holistic.
finance.
We want to
It's
be
all
holistic. The whole thing. The whole thing.
the whole thing. So I am sharing this with you guys. I know it's not one of those, topics that you just want to, really want to pop out at you, but it should be. Why? Because without health, wealth means nothing. What is the legacy that you're going to leave in the earth?
That's right.
What is the legacy that you're going to leave? It's not only those monetary gifts, but it's about how you impact. And how you impact is how you show up. And if you're not well, then guess who's not showing up? You and I are not showing up if we're not well.
Yes.
So we want to be well in our new season, because I promise you this, 2024, we're going to soar. But I'm telling you, it is not only the year of the open door, but it is the year for you to move forth and what God has called you to do. So I am talking about health and wellness tonight. And we have the guru in the house, the legend and icon herself. This is 42 years of life experience and expertise. It doesn't get any better than that.
Well, it doesn't get any better than Serrano Show. Serrano Show. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yes, she's cheerleading for us tonight, guys. But you have got to please go back and play the replay.
Yeah.
If you just joining us, this is the Serrano Show. We are going to be bringing some amazing things coming forth. And even as we are nearing our hour, listen, we're going to play a video for you. Dr. Serrano has some more things he wants to share. We're going to come right back with our amazing guest, Dr. Jody Bear, in just one moment, because we want to play for you this video of our upcoming event, which is going to be held in February 2024. We're going to do what? Soar in health and wellness. And so you're going to want to be in Florida. But I'm going to let the video tell you a little bit more.
I think you probably need to rewind it a little bit, because I see what we've got here, because you see, and when you look at the fee, all 5 meals for that 2.5 days are going to be in it. You know why? Because we want to make sure that if you're getting wellness, that you're not putting Popeye's chicken strips in your body. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. I've just got to say how I found health and wellness. I'm a pregnant mother with a bun in the oven. Went into my first La Leche League meeting, because guess what? Breast milk is the best milk. I look at the even in La Leche League, because they know that they don't know. Looked in that dining room and I said, what is this? Additives and preservatives. I was challenged, and I wrote the protocols for La Leche League International for expectant and breastfeeding mamas that are still here 43 years later. See, you never know when you see something in your soul. Go for it and come to us in Boca.
Come
That's
to
so
us
true.
in Boca.
Okay,
You
ready?
ready?
Go ahead and
Listen,
play the.
and while we're doing that, we want to thank each and every one of you for joining us real quick because we know we appreciate you. It is our desire to reach 1 million couples and families around the globe. And so we are starting out with 100, but we need you to help us get there. Will you help us get there? I know you will. Come on. You're going to like, subscribe, and share the Serrano Show out to your family and friends because this is free information. Well, it's coming to you free, but it wasn't free for me and him. Okay, we had to work for this. You're looking at 34 years of marriage covenant. I'm telling you, covenant is a game changer. That's for another show. But we want you to know that we're here with you in this game called life because it get real on these streets of marriage and covenant. And we understand that sometimes life happens. But guess what? When you fall down, you got to get back up. Amen. And so we are here to help you tonight so you can live a little longer, happier, freer, fresher. And then you can leave that legacy that you're looking to leave for your family and friends. Here we go. Florida, coming to you.
Why learn about health when you can experience it? Experience it in beautiful Florida in February 2024. Join us for 3 days of integrative and intensive health and healing education and empowerment with the expertise of the following Healthopedia author, speaker, and facilitators: Dr. James Marinakis, Dr. Joe D. Baer, Kimberly Meredith, Dame Doria Cordova, Rex Sykes, Dr. Gary Sanchez, Jamie Kerr, and more. Experience daily morning walking and yoga, interactive participation, panel discussions, and more for your own epiphany of health. Get your tickets now.
Thank you for playing that, gang.
Wow.
And I'll tell you the what is different with this, because you go to a seminar and you're so up there, but then you need a month to sleep. See, we're going to show you how you rejuvenate and repurpose your health.
Yeah.
That is the process. Dr. Jim will be on my show Mindset Mondays. Here's what I know. It will absolutely be a game changer because you'll leave there knowing just not what to do, but how to do it. If you know how to do it, well, you put it in. So it's not for everybody. We only have 150 seats, very intimate crowd. But this is, if you're a practitioner out there, guess what? Because of Dr. Jim's and my West Coast, East Coast influence, we can offer you CEUs, continuing education units. Then we will be doing a practice that you can go ahead and do for 3 to 6 months and have this vertical of revenue teaching your clients, your patients, your people of influence to do it the same. And then, Nefertina, we've got the essence of a woman, and then we're followed by Real Men Are Aware. Richard will have a book for you too at a deep discount so you can tell your story that people are waiting on. So don't wait on it. I will just put it in the chat here, and I will say it's drjody.com, upcoming events. And I will put this in there, Dr. Nefertina and Dr. Richard. I just really appreciate so much just the level of me just actually grabbing the mic from you and just, that I could actually just tell my story. It was just been such a rewarding time. It is just because health isn't something you do. It's what you become along life's journey. And no food, Richard, as you were saying, no food tastes as good as health feels.
Amen. Wow.
Absolutely right.
When God led us to come back and do this show, we had no idea the direction it was going to go in. And I'm getting a little emotional because I want to say this. This is what it's about.
Yes.
We're not here just to, tell you all the woes and the goods of what's happening in our life. We're sharing the transparent part, but we're letting you know that we've been through some things, guys. You're not alone in this game called life. And we're here to stand alongside you and to walk alongside you in this journey. We won't leave you. We're right here. And I know that, during COVID, it became very challenging for a lot of you out there. A lot of couples went through some really hard times. And maybe even right now, as we're entering into the giving season, it gets a little stressful in some households right now. Some that feel like I just don't have enough. Some feel like I can't, I'm never good enough. Whatever you're going through, whatever you're feeling, wherever you are in your place and space of mindset, we want you to rise up from whatever ashes that have been holding you hostage and holding you bound. You can live stronger, richer, healthier, better. And you have it within you to do it. And we're here to encourage, uplift, and inspire you to do just that.
Amen.
Right?
That's right. That's right.
I love working with my husband. But I love the God that I serve because he knows each and every one of our situations and our circumstances. He knows the end from the beginning, all that in between. But guess what? You can change right here, right now, the end of that story. You do not have to be downtrodden. You do not have to be a victim. You do not. You can rise up in your own truth and move forward and beyond that. I know you got it in you. You're stronger. And guess what? We're here with you. And we're better together. We win. You know, Dr. Jody Bear, I am so excited. First of all, I love her name, and I love saying it if you haven't noticed. I am so grateful to God for connecting us all.
Yes.
Sister Diana Yasmin said, this is good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us, my sister. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedules. To each and every one of you who have popped in and out, we do not take it for granted because it is our desire to reach the four corners of the earth. That is our responsibility as disciples to do so. And so whether I reach you by television, by podcast, by live video, by phone, whichever way we encounter one another, we, my husband and I, want you to know that you are worth it and that you matter. I am looking forward to February. I cannot wait for this conference. I hope you can join us. If you are in the local area, please join us. It will be so worth it. Listen, people, listen to me very good. We must learn to invest in ourselves.
Yes.
We must learn. We pour out money to every organization, to every store.
Sure do.
To all these things on Instagram, on Amazon, Temu, and every other boo. But what about you? Pour into yourself. Pour into yourself.
Yeah. And, you know, be encouraged because I know that discouragement comes. Yes. And it comes to all of us. It is just not the chosen. It is those that are just working in the fields and everyone. So we have to be encouraged and intentional, right? It's not all about putting money in, but putting time in.
Yes.
Because what? Time is money.
Yes.
Time is something you don't get back. So use your time wisely. Good. Manage your time.
Yeah.
If you manage your time, you can get so much out of the day.
Yes.
If you don't manage it, then your days are going to go fast.
Oh, and I know you're ready to close. Yes, I know you're ready to close. I just felt I gotta share this because this is who you are. All right, because you're better together. I want you to take your right hand, put it over your heart, feel your pulse. So go ahead and just put it on your right hand, Richard. Put it on your pulse. You feel your pulse. You feel that heart beating. But then when you take your left hand, you put it on your right. Your heart beats faster because we're better together and we need each other.
Amen.
Wow. Beautiful. That is a wonderful way to
you.
close.
Yeah.
Listen, my sister's in the house tonight, guys. January Brent. This is my go-to, honey. I love her so much. This is my biological sister, guys. Yes, yes. And
that's the doctor in the family.
She is the doctor in the family. That's the real doctor right there. it's two people I go to when I have an issue. That is my brother-in-law, Steve Serrano, and my sister, January Brandt.
Right.
She knows she is my nurse. She is my nurse. And I love her so much. So thank you for joining us, sis. I appreciate you. Yes, yes. Dr. Jody Bear, we want to say thank you. We are about to wrap this up, guys. If you're just joining us, my niece is in the house. My preciosa, I call her, my precious one. Thank you. She said she loved it. Yeah. I hope you guys, if you are just joining us, please go back and watch the play. This was about health and wellness. We need it for our next chapter, guys. We need it for our next chapter. Dr. Jody Bear talked about your story. What are you going to leave in your story? Share your story with others. We all have gone through something. No process, no promise. That's right. No process, no promise. That part. Amen. We must rise up from the ashes of everything that tries to deter us, distract us, and keep us bound. And we have to do what? Move forward. So come on into 2024 with us. God willing, I know it's His will. We will see you in Florida. And we are so looking forward to it. Come and join us. You will not be disappointed. I promise you. Life will be sweeter, richer, and more abundant.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Jody Bear. We really appreciate you for coming on. Just hang on for a few minutes and we'll be right back with you. We love you. Thank you for everything.
We love you too.
Thank you.
Love you back.
Okay.
So guys, we want you to know, as this is our season ending, we have some amazing people coming forth. Oh, I'm talking about multi-millionaires, billionaires in the making, prophetess, ministers. Listen, Her Royal Highnesses, Her Excellencies. We have it all for you. Doctor, and doctor. We are so excited because we're going to have such an enriching 2024. Yeah. We hope you join us. Help us to reach that 1 million. Are you going to join us? I know you will. And we want to thank you in advance for joining us.
Yeah. And, get your mind in a place of riding that bike that you haven't drove in, all for the few summers that just went by. Yeah. And purpose it for this summer that's coming up, because we will be in different areas, different parks, riding our bikes, but not just that, having you join us. Yeah. Singles, couples that are married, all of you come out and be healthy. Let's show our generation and our past generation who we really are. Because that true, as we say, true worshiper, but that true person, man and woman that's inside of you just needs to come out.
Wow.
So let's do it. Let's get real in 2024.
Yes.
Let's start preparing now, these few weeks that we have coming, to plan how we're going to do it in 2024. We love you guys. Wow. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Thanks for joining us. And don't forget, get your copy of Healthopedia. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. It will be an investment into your future and into your life of health and wellness. God bless you. Thank you for joining us, to every one of our guests. And remember, the Serranos, we support you to achieve balance and stability in life and in business through biblical principles to build a more effective communication in your marriage and in your relationships. And if you know someone who is going through a tumultuous time, Covenant Rescue 911 is a 24-hour hotline for couples and families in crisis. You want to call this number, 855-737-2911 or 855-RESC-911. Let the rescue begin. Good night.